Ladies and gents, welcome back to Adventure Zach. Today comes the official 2017 CRF250l review. Stay tuned. Let's go up here and do our review because I cannot do it in that windy ass environment. Alright guys, here we are. So, this first things first. It's a 2017 CRF250l. I'm not going to go too in depth with everything right now. I can do individual item reviews if you guys would like. But as you can see, I've got the Wolfman Tank Bag. The bag is amazing. It's got a removable map cover, which is awesome. You can also put your phone in there, which is kind of nice because you don't have to worry about having a phone mount. So I put my phone in there, some chargers. It's got a double pocket. Good space in there. That's beside the point though. So to what the bike has. Again, it's a 2017 CRF250l. The bike is amazing, guys. If you're really looking into getting this bike, or you've been looking into getting a dual sport for a while now, and you can't make your mind up, but you want to have something that's going to be practically bulletproof, fuel injected, water cooled, all those things which are to me a must anymore nowadays. This is the bike to get. So to start off, I've got, like I said, Wolfman Tank Bag, Wolfman Toolbag. Keep this little handheld pump. This is perfect for dual sports, even super sports. Obviously, it takes a little bit more pumping if you're going to pump a super sport tire, but this is perfect for a dual sport. I'll do a review on my tool bag and what's in my tool bag at a later time. I've got seat concept seat. I also have a 11.5 inch Fisher seat. So it's wider than this. This is even wider than factory. Tell you what, guys, if you've never had a motorcycle that has not had an aftermarket seat, that is a must-have. Get an aftermarket seat before you do any other type of modifications to your bike. Trust me, your butt will thank you. So, moving on, I have a Zeta lowering link. The nice thing about this lowering link is it is adjustable. So it's currently lowered an inch lower than factory height. I want to put it back up to factory height. The nice thing about it though is you can actually raise the height if you would like, because that is adjustable. So really nice. I've got Fastway foot pegs. These things are amazing. If you've ever had wider or enduro style foot pegs, factory foot pegs are real narrow. They're trash. They're garbage. These wider enduro style pegs are amazing. A little bit on the pricey side. Well worth it though. I've got the longer spikes, the longer foot peg spikes here that I think I'm going to put in. These have been working perfectly fine for me, and I like the fact that they're lower because it's better on the road. So when you're off-road, the longer pegs might work a little bit better. Again, I haven't had a problem with these shorter ones yet, but I'm thinking that the longer ones might not be as comfortable on the road. Say if you're riding an hour or something away from where you're at, and you've got the longer spikes. I mean, the longer ones that I have, they're probably about double that, if not a little bit more than double. So it may be a little bit more uncomfortable for the street. So I'm keeping these on for now. I'll try the longer ones at a later date and just see how they feel. I've got the SWMotech Crash Bar. Nice, but I'm gonna get rid of that. I'd like to get a crash plate on, or I'm sorry, a bash plate on, skid plate. The problem is though, is it doesn't look like if I get the skid plate, it will work with this crash bar on there. So I'm thinking I'm gonna have to take that off to put the skid plate on. So I don't really need that. I mean, that's nice to have. But for the type of riding I do, don't really need that. If you're riding it more on the road and you're dropping it on the road, then you could benefit from that. But I'll benefit a lot more from a crash plate, from a bash plate. I mean, from a skid plate. So moving on, I've got a Cyclops LED headlight. Simple bulb, halogens. Don't do it for me anymore. LED is the way to go. My next upgrade is going to be the LED blinkers, fender eliminator kit with the LED taillight and blinkers in the back as well. I'll do an installation on that as far as review goes as well. I also have the IMS. I like to say it's 3.1 or 3.3. I don't remember. Aftermarket tank. Well worth it. The bike gets over 300 miles to a full tank now. When I'm in the woods, I'm not riding it easy. Never get out of second gear, really, because of some of the technicalities on some of the trails we hit. So it's really hard to get out of second gear. Third gear and up is pretty much worthless in the woods unless you're on a fire road. That tank is amazing, though. I highly recommend replacing your stock tank as well if you plan on doing the type of riding I do, which is long trips, all-day trips, things like that. You don't want to have to refuel up. I could ride 2 hours away from home, go ride 4 or 5 hours in the woods somewhere, come back home 2 hours away from home, still get home on a full tank of gas with that thing topped off. No problem whatsoever. Awesome. Oxford heated grips. First set I've ever owned here. As you can see, I've got the little zip tie method because the circumference of these things with the heater plate in there is exactly the same as the handlebar. So when I grip glued it, it just wanted to squeeze out. Held for a while, broke loose on me in the woods. That was my temporary fix in the woods. I'm going to re-glue it, but it works fine for the way it is right now. Amazing. I've only used them once now so far, and they are amazing. It was one ride that I went out 7 o'clock, and it was actually like 6:30 in the morning. I think it was temperature was about 46 degrees at that time. These things are amazing. Never owned them before. First time owning them. They work very well. I am happy with them, the way that they work. Looking forward to using them this winter. Bark busters, storm bark busters. This is a must-have. Any type of trail riding you do, any type of trail bike, you have to have these. If you ride year-round like I do as well, these will highly benefit you in the wintertime. Keeps the air off your hands. So with these, plus the heated grips, we'll see how they work. Should do really well. Just recently threw on a Kenda K270 in the rear. Still running the Scorpion MT19 in the front. Dookie tire. It's good for the street. Terrible for off-road. I can make it work, but it's garbage. It is really bad. It doesn't even like dirt like this. I mean, you can ride dirt like this, but it's a sucky tire. It doesn't do any good. But I'm going to do a review on that. I think I'm going to go with an MT 21, or I'm going to go with a D606 in the front combo with the K270. The K270 is amazing. I'm really liking it. Grips really well off-road. Grips really good on-road. Once you get up to about 70 miles an hour, depending on the road conditions, it can get a little floaty. Other than that, great tire. So I think that does it for modifications. Everything else, bike-wise, is stock. Doesn't have an aftermarket exhaust. Still running the stock filter. Everything on this bike is actually bone stock when it comes to performance. The only modifications I have done to this bike are for riding purposes and things of that nature, like the bark busters, the crash bar, the headlight, things like that. I'm looking into doing the Stage 1 performance kit this winter. I think I'm going to check out the front sprocket, drop it down to a 13 tooth to see. Oh yeah, one thing I actually did forget. I also have a Wilber's rear shock installed. So aftermarket Wilber's rear shock, really good shock. It's fully adjustable, dampening and all that stuff. With that said, onto the actual bike itself. So the bike itself is, like I said, it's amazing. If you're really thinking of getting one, you really want to get one, or you're just a Honda fan or something. I'm not a Honda fanboy. I love all bikes, Yamaha, Honda. This bike is awesome though. Don't listen to the stuff that people say about it being, underpowered or this and that. It's all a crock. It's all in how you ride. So you can take this thing back in the woods, on the trails, with the best of everybody else. You can take this thing across the country if you wanted to. It's all in what you want to do. The biggest downfall with this bike that I have noticed is the suspension is a little soft, okay? I have never bottomed this bike out, and I've hit some pretty gnarly ruts, trees, things like that. I have touched the underbody where the skid plate is, the factory skid plate I should say, but it's not even a skid plate, it's a piece of plastic. I have hit that before on a tree when I hopped a tree, but that was because I hopped over the tree and I drug it because the tree was so tall. It drug because the tree was as tall as the center of the bike. Other than that, I've gotten this thing off the ground completely, you know, on a couple humps, you know, things like that. Never bottomed it out. Again, it is a little soft, but with a little bit of, you know, investment into the suspension, for the price that you can get these bikes for, you can have this suspension better than bikes that are in the same category but more money stock. So this winter I'm also going to go with the Race Tech front fork kit. I'm going to do an installation video on that as well, see how that goes. It's supposed to really stiffen it up, plus it comes with adjustable caps, so it turns these front forks to be adjustable. So I've already got the rear shock done. I'm going to do the front forks this winter. We'll see how that goes. Other than the suspension though, which is perfectly fine, it's just not a motocross bike. Other than that, you can take this thing on any type of trails you want to take it on. You can take this thing on any type of road you want to take it on, and it is a blast. The power is there through all ratios of the gears. It's got, you know, good pull at the top end of the gears when you're riding on the street. Keeps up with anybody, you know, you want on the street. Obviously, again, it's not a super sport, but it keeps up with anything that's on the road when you're riding on the road. Doesn't feel underpowered, and just back in the woods alone, it feels really good. Going down one tooth in the front apparently makes the bike a whole different bike off-road. So we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, I'm gonna step out of this location here. Everywhere was too windy. I couldn't do the review off the road here that I was looking into doing because it's so windy out right now. Hopefully we can pull out of here no problem. Don't have anybody blazing in front of us. We shall see though. Nice little decline right here. A nice little decline right here. Got a car coming. That's alright though. See, she'll get up to speed good. It's really, really windy out today, guys. I don't understand why. I didn't know it was going to be so windy. It's hard to believe we're cruising speed limit we are back here. Everybody is. Look at this Subaru. Getting it. Jeez. You don't see that. Well, these cars are getting it. I guess what's wrong with that? I guess this will be the true test on my mic. Like, it's so windy out, it's blowing my helmet around. Like, not the helmet itself, but like my whole damn head is moving around with the helmet. You'll probably see it on the GoPro. Like, it's really, really windy. Matter of fact, I should slow down. He's slowing down. Man, these people are getting it. CRF250l is an awesome bike. I've got an event coming up on the 13th that I'm going to try to make it to. Not guaranteed, but I'm going to do my best to try to make it there. And when I do, it's a dual sport event. I'll record it, get some footage. Hopefully I'll be able to put the bike through an even more, you know, deeper test. But I've already taken this bike on some good runs here. Let me get a sip of water real fast. Make a really weird gulp sound when you got your head turned sideways like that with a helmet on. Trails that I've hit so far are from really settled. The some portions we've hit have been pretty good, pretty decent, pretty gnarly, I should say. And every time I take this bike out, it surprises me. Every time I take it out, I look like a bird in the middle of the road. Every time I take it out, it surprises me. You know, every time I take it out, I push it a little bit further, mainly because I get a little bit more and more comfortable with it, and I start pushing it further and further every time I have it out. But it's really, it's just a great all-around bike. You know, the bike has no problem doing wheelies. I'm not familiar with wheeling this bike myself per se, but it has no problems whatsoever. You can do wheelies on this thing all day long. My brother hopped on it, was doing second gear wheelies without a problem. So once I get a little bit more comfortable with it, then I'll start doing, you know, a little bit of shows with it. Everything on the bike is functional, obviously. The mirrors, I took the side mirrors off, or the rear, you know, the side mirrors, because they get in the way off-road somewhat. So I'm gonna get a pair of the foldable ones. The factory mirrors are really heavy, so I don't know the exact weight of them, but they're really heavy. So hopefully when I replace them, it'll lighten, you know, the aftermarket ones will be lighter, so save a little bit of weight there. That'll be kind of nice. I think I was supposed to turn back there. The bike in general though, like I said, all the modifications I've done to this is like what anybody will do to any of their bikes. What makes it comfortable for you? You know, the seat is a must, I think. You know, some people get away with riding on factory seats on motorcycles. The aftermarket seat is the very first thing that I always tend to do, because I tend to generally ride for long periods of time. I don't get on my bike, ride for an hour, park it, and do that once a week. I try to ride multiple times a week for hours on end. So an aftermarket, good quality aftermarket seat is kind of a must. We're gonna turn around right here because I was supposed to turn back there for sure. And again, the power is there. This bike is more than powerful enough. You know, the 2017 and up models are actually lighter, wet weight wise, than the 2016 and unders. So when you compare them to the WR250R and you compare them to, you know, other bikes in the same category, you know, it's not that big a difference. I mean, if 20 pounds is heavy to you, 20 additional pounds is heavy to you, then sorry, I don't know what to tell you. 20 pounds additional to me, and it's not even 20 pounds, but 20 pounds additional, just saying in general, is nothing to me. Makes no difference. I mean, hell, I got the aftermarket tank on there. That increases the weight of the bike. I've got the crash bar on there. You know, I don't remember the exact weight of that, but that is, you know, adding to the weight. So my bags, you know, they don't weigh much, my tool bag, but adds to the weight. So with all those things added to it, this bike still is super light to me. That's to me though. It's all about being comfortable with the bike. Once you become comfortable with the bike, the weight is nothing to you. I came from riding an FZ6, which is not a very heavy bike, but it is kind of top heavy. So that being a top heavy bike, you know, this bike feels like air to me. So this bike is super light to me. I've dropped it numerous times in the woods. Pick it right up, no problem. Not a problem at all. Once I replace my front tire, the bike itself off-road should be a whole different bike alone, because tires are a big thing off-road. This is another bridge, nice little bridge right here. I'm loving the bike though. I really have no complaints about the bike. I really don't have any complaints about this bike at all. If you want to get, I mean, hell, you can get a CRF250l brand new out the door, I think I do believe for under 7 grand. Now, if it's on sale, you know, you can get it for just over 5 grand out the door. With having ridden this bike on road, on gravel roads, on muddy roads, through mud pits, through trails, pretty much everything you can ride this bike on, I've ridden it through creeks, you know, through, I wouldn't really call it a river, but deep creeks. You know, some of the creeks we went through are 2 foot deep. I've went through, you know, it's an awesome bike. It really is an awesome bike. If you're looking for a brand new bike and you want a dual sport and your budget is in the range of the CRF250l, pick that thing up. I'm telling you right now, you will not regret it whatsoever. So I'm about 185, give or take, plus pounds. You know, fully geared, I'm probably about 195, maybe even closer to 200, obviously. And again, the suspension is not a problem to me. Man, I thought that was a turtle down there. That rock looked like a massive 100-year-old tortoise. With my weight fully geared, I typically carry my camel pack. I carry my tank bag. Tank bag weight will always vary because I could have a jacket in there. I might have some other camera gear in there. And the weight of this will vary. And even fully geared, because I've ridden this bike fully geared, has no problems with anything. So I've taken it up some really steep inclines as far as roads go. No problems whatsoever. Again, it's not underpowered. The power's perfect on this thing. And we'll see how the Stage 1 kit does as far as performance gains. You know, I think my next actual upgrade is going to be the 13-tooth front sprocket. I'll do an installation video on that as well. And then a review of it for my very first ride. I'll do a review of it before even riding it so I can get a legit review, first time review. And then I think from there, I'm just going to do the skid plate. And other than that, she's set. If there's any specific questions anybody wants to ask about the bike directly, feel free to leave it in the comment section below. And I'll respond back to you, give you the best of answer that I can for any questions you may have. I'm going to be uploading a video as well. Well, not a video, numerous videos as well. I'd like to do a review of my gear, as well as, you know, my bags. I've got, you know, Wolfman Tank Bag, Wolfman Toolkit. I've got Wolfman dry bags, saddle dry bags. Those are going to be getting used in my camping trip, which I'm really looking forward to. Again, currently working on that right now, roughing out some of the details, and hopefully I'll be able to get at least one other person to commit, but we'll see. That water looks really deep right there. Might be 3 foot, 4 foot. Hey, this right here is also a must-have, guys. I'll look down at it because I'm on a gravel road going way under the speed. 2-port USB charging port. I also have a battery tender hookup on the bike itself, but that right there, well, for me is a must-have. I think it's a must-have because when you're riding, you know, I can charge 2 devices at once. I can charge my Sena up. I've got a Sena 30K. I can charge up my GoPro. I can charge up my cell phone. Anything I want to charge, I can charge directly from this. I have a battery tender hookup here as well, but that is mainly going to be used, well, not only for tendering the battery, but that's also going to be mainly used, I think, for heated gear. If I go with heated gear this year, I probably should run back home to get my jacket because I got somewhere to go. It's going to be a little bit later when I go, when I leave. I don't know what the low of today is going to be, but it might be in the 50s, and if the sun's down, get a little chilly. riding 45 minutes away from home. Cars like to haul ass on these roads. I'll tell you what though, guys, this seat, you forget you got a butt, man. Aftermarket seats are that nice, like that much of a must-have for me. Last time I rode group ride with my brother, it is definitely a little chilly when the sun goes away. You know, I find it really funny, guys, how every time I'm out and I'm riding, I go by numerous cops, and 9 times out of 10, you know, they see me wearing this bright ass gear on this bright ass bike. 9 times out of 10 don't even look at me, or well, that's really it. They don't even look at you. They don't pay no attention. And from the front of this bike, it doesn't look like you're on a dual sport or anything. Looks like you're possibly just on a dirt bike. You would think that they'd want to check your bike out just to see, but they don't. And I find that to be really funny. They usually don't even look at you. Look at this shit. Just because of a red light. Oh no, it's a school bus. Man, you guys think they buy gold and silver? Swallowed a bug. Look at all this bamboo. That's like the 10th person I've seen watering their grass today. They did have some good looking grass. I just feel like the grass is gonna all be dead in like a month, 2 months. See that guy? What you call a twat sickle. He was real cool. Well guys, that concludes today's video. If you like this video, please give me a like, thumbs up, subscribe. Stay tuned for more content. I've got some really cool things in the works right now. Don't want to spoil them, but really cool things that are coming up. Peace. I mean, I'm trying to fucking get through. That's what I'm doing right now. I have no idea what the fuck it is. No clue what the fuck it is. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, not on Route 1 though. All right. All right.
Thanks, Mike.
What's up, man? Yeah, I see. You got the same damn thing.